I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Mullinax. Notice how I'm not afraid to use my name. And this is Burn After Reading Live. And thanks to anyone who's watching live or going to catch the replay later. Great, Bill O'Reilly impression. It's not an impression. That's him. But, it's too good not to use, right? So I hope everyone's doing well this Sunday evening. Where I'm at, it's hot as hell. And anyways, how about we go ahead and we get into it, shall we? Probably not a lot of people are going to watch because unless I'm posting West Memphis 3 or Anthony Greeno or Delphi or Murray stuff, it's not going to catch fire. It's just a state of the channel type stuff. And, maybe some of you are wondering what's going on. And I want to assure you that my channel isn't going anywhere. I hope, it's just things that are going to change. So don't worry. I'm not going to pull a Rick Snay or Anthony Greeno on any of you, for anyone who understands that reference. No, today I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about my content style and why I've decided to shift my focus back to pre-recorded scripted videos instead of live streams and collaborations. And first and foremost, I do want to thank all of you who show up for these, and I want to thank you for your support and your engagement. I appreciate your participation in my live streams, and I'm grateful for that. So again, thank you. However, after careful consideration, I've come to realize that pre-recorded scripted videos are a better fit for me and my content, and here's why. To be honest, one of the main reasons I've decided to step back from collaborations and interviews is the scheduling aspect. Coordinating with other creators or experts has become a significant burden. And for the most part, I'm not blaming those people. So I want to make sure, that's understood. But between finding a mutually convenient time, dealing with rescheduling and managing different time zones, it's been a logistical nightmare. I've spent more time planning and coordinating than actually researching and creating content. And I've had to adjust my own plans to accommodate others. And it's just been stressful and exhausting when having to do that, especially when I already have a full-time job on top of doing this stuff. And by focusing on pre-recorded scripted videos and episodes, I can create content on my own schedule without the added pressure of coordinating with others. I can take the time I need to research, write, and produce quality episodes without feeling rushed or constrained. And I want to enjoy the process of creating content again without the weight of scheduling burdens. I'm excited to take back control of my time and focus on what matters most, and that's sharing compelling insights with you, the audience. Another frustration I've experienced with collaborations and interviews is the lack of timely responses. I've reached out to numerous individuals, or they've reached out to me, seemingly excited about the potential opportunity of working together, only to be met with eventual radio silence. I'm not afraid to use examples. Captain Howdy gleefully wanted to collaborate with me, and of course, I wanted to gleefully collaborate with him. I dig his work. He was given my email by a mutual party, only to never hear from him. And of course, for those who know, the collaboration with True Crime is NY on the West Memphis 3 debate was a complete disaster. Not any part of, I mean, it's not due to any part of my own, and I'm not being braggadocious about that. But on her part, there was a lot of manufactured reasons for her to blame me for the criticism of others. And what could have been a very interesting collaboration fell apart. Even though I went ahead to complete the series anyways because I thought it was important. And it's disappointing and it's frustrating to invest time and effort into setting up a collaboration or doing interviews only to have the other person fail to follow through. Look, I understand that people get busy. They have a life with work, their family, other things. But a simple response or an update would be appreciated. The lack of communication leaves me wondering if they're interested, if they've changed their minds, or if they've simply forgotten. And if any of those things are the case, then have the fucking guts to say so. This lack of responsiveness has led to wasted time, missed opportunities, and a sense of uncertainty. And I have to move on to other projects or topics, leaving the original idea of collaboration behind. By focusing on my own solo pre-recorded episodes, I eliminate the uncertainty and frustration that comes with waiting for others to respond or having to deal with last-minute cancellations. I can create content on my own terms without relying on others to move forward. And let me be clear, it's never been about needing them or them needing me. I've done fairly well on my own, I think, and people have been responsive to my work 8-1 in my favor of what I do based on the likes and dislikes. I just wanted to find ways to expand and grow awareness of important topics, and I thought this could be a way of doing that. And now I believe that's no longer a viable option. But perhaps that's not a bad thing. Perhaps that's a blessing in disguise because I've noticed a significant difference in my retention rates between live streams and scripted episodes. When I'm doing live streams or impromptu interviews, I find it challenging to retain information, recall key points, and maintain my train of thought because I feel the need to always be on, if that makes any sense. And here's an interesting example. And again, I'm not blaming these individuals. This is just what has happened because I actually do like both of these guys. But in my interview with Fig Solves and the captain from True Crime Garage, I had a whole other idea to what was actually going to be discussed. I was prepped and ready to talk about the Delphi case with Fig Solves. And then the last second, the captain from True Crime Garage was going to participate. And you don't say no to having the captain on. I mean, come on. But I was ready to discuss Delphi. But instead, the topic of the West Memphis 3 came up. And after a long day, I just wasn't prepared to have that conversation the same way I was prepared to have it with True Crime is NY. I was off from work that whole week when discussing that with True Crime is NY. And I was relaxed and I was focused and I had my notes. And again, I'm not blaming either Fig or the captain. I actually felt bad that Fig didn't have, the fact that he didn't really talk much at all in that video. And, it is what it is. I wanted to make up for that with the Delphi episode. And I did have a great conversation with the captain after the episode we recorded was over. So again, I just want to make sure that I'm not putting any negativity towards them, but this is about the retention memory issue. And my critics have tried to use this retention memory issue against me, but retention memory issues, it's not a sign of ignorance, but rather a common cognitive challenge that can affect anyone, regardless of intelligence or knowledge. Memory retention is a complex process that involves multiple brain regions and can be influenced by various factors such as information overload, lack of sleep or fatigue, stress or anxiety, distraction or divided attention, and neurological conditions or learning disabilities. And I don't believe the first thing or the last thing really really speaks to my issue with that, but I think the second, third, and fourth does. And it's also important to know that it does not define a person's intelligence, capabilities, work ethic, or value. So when it's used to attack someone, namely me in this situation, it's a bitch move, especially when the person or people saying it are hiding behind social media accounts, having nothing better to do than to think of either me or Gary Meese. But in contrast to the live streaming improv stuff, pre-recorded scripted episodes allow me thoroughly to, like, research, organize my thoughts, and present information in a clear and concise manner. I can review and revise my script to ensure accuracy and clarity, which has significantly improved my retention and overall quality of content. Live streams, on the other hand, often leave me frazzled and uncertain. I might forget important details, struggle to articulate my thoughts, or lose my train of thought mid-sentence. It's a frustrating, it's very frustrating, and it affects the quality of my content. It's actually been an issue I faced outside of this true crime live stream stuff for some time now. By switching and keeping to scripted episodes, I can leverage my strengths in research, writing, and editing to create quality content that resonates with my audience. I can take the time to review, revise, and perfect my episodes, ensuring that I am proud of the final product. And at times that hasn't always been the case. I talked about before not rushing, but sometimes I've rushed things to go out, and that is something I want to vastly improve upon. No more worrying about retention deficits or live stream mishaps. I'm excited to focus on creating engaging, informative, and polished episodes that showcase my knowledge and my passion. And in addition, I want to revisit and revise my previous pre-recorded episodes to make them better than ever. I'm committed to continuous improvement and refinement. In the past, I haven't always been accurate. I may have settled for 80% accuracy, but that's no longer acceptable to me. I strive for 100% accuracy, and I'm willing to put in the work to achieve it. I will be researching topics, updating information, and correcting my errors or inaccuracies. I'll also be rewriting scripts to make them more engaging, clear, and concise. My goal is to create a library of content that I can be proud of, content that will stand the test of time. I want my audience to trust me completely, knowing that they're getting the most accurate and reliable information possible. Revising and refining my previous work will also help me to fill in the gaps in my knowledge and understanding, provide more nuanced and detailed explanations, basically improve the overall quality and consistency of my content. Even though I'm generally correct on topics like the West Memphis 3 case, I've made errors, and those mistakes bother me. As mentioned before, some of my loser critics hiding behind sock puppet accounts claim that I'm unaffected by those mistakes, but the truth is, I take them seriously. I'm human, and I care about accuracy and quality. My critics hiding namelessly behind social media to try to use my mistakes against me, they do that, but I won't let them define me or my work. I'll continue to strive for excellence, transparency, and accountability. Not all mistakes are created equal. Some errors might be minor, while others might be more significant. But here's the thing. Even if I make a mistake, it doesn't necessarily destroy the overall truth or the validity of my content. In many cases, the general truth or narrative remains intact, even if a specific detail is incorrect. It's like a puzzle. If one piece is slightly off, it doesn't mean the entire puzzle is ruined. Now, I'm not saying, and let me be clear on this. I'm not saying that mistakes are insignificant or that I'm excusing sloppiness. But I am saying that context matters. If I've done my due diligence, presented a well-researched argument, and made an honest mistake, that doesn't discredit the entire work. So if I make a mistake, I'll own up to it, correct it, and move forward. But I won't let some chicken shit losers hiding behind social media accounts because they're too scared to put their names out there undermine the value of my content or the trust of my audience. And that's what bothers them. Despite their absolute best efforts, they are furious that I'm still here and the people, they respect what I have to say, and that eats them alive knowing I continue to grow while mostly no one gives two shits about what they have to say. To that I have to say, haha. So yes, mistakes bother me, but I won't let them hold me back. I'll keep moving forward, always seeking to do better. And let me see what I got going on here. I don't know who Captain Howdy is. He's a content creator on YouTube, a really good one. And despite everything, you should go check him out. He's actually he has really good stuff. Bear, don't give a fuck. Afternoon, Rebecca. Thank you for being on. Appreciate it. So, having said all that, let's move on from that. I just kind of wanted to address that, but I also other things with my channel. There's a couple things I want to discuss. This October for the Halloween season, I'm excited to share with you a new episode that dwells into the fascinating, terrifying topic of nightmare death syndrome. This rare and mysterious condition has captivated my attention, and I'm eager to dive deeper into its history, causes, and consequences. What's even more intriguing is the connection between nightmare death syndrome and one of my all time favorite movies, A Nightmare on Elm Street. The film's writer and director, Wes Craven, drew inspiration from this very condition, and it's easy to see why. The idea that your dreams can be so vivid, so real, and yet so deadly is a chilling concept that has haunted human imagination for centuries. And nightmare death syndrome embodies this terror where the boundaries between reality and nightmare are blurred and the consequences are fatal. And I'll explore the mystery behind nightmare death syndrome and how it has baffled experts, its cultural significance, and how it influenced the horror genre, in particular, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll also examine the psychological and philosophical implications of this condition and what it reveals about the human psyche. So, this Halloween season, join me as we venture into the dark and twisted world of nightmare death syndrome and discover the terrifying truth that inspired one of horror's most iconic movies. Uh, and something else at some point I'm considering creating is an episode about my lifelong fear of the living dead or zombies, whatever you want to call them. It's a phobia that has haunted me from childhood to early adulthood. The mere thought of a horde of undead driven solely by a primal urge to devour human flesh, it has sent shivers down my spine. And what terrifies me the most is the inability to reason with these creatures. No negotiations, no pleas for mercy, no escape from their relentless pursuit. The idea of being surrounded, outnumbered, and overwhelmed by a mindless horde is a chilling prospect. But it's not just the zombies themselves that fuel my fear. It's the sense of isolation and abandonment that comes with that. The feeling of being cut off from the world with no help in sight as the undead close in. And by confronting my fears head on, I hope to better understand its grip on my psyche and perhaps find ways to overcome it. So join me, on this journey when I get that set up, because I think that will be a very interesting deep dive into the darkness of the zombie apocalypse. And I'm sure, as many of you have noticed, I want to incorporate horror movie themes as, and elements into my content, exploring how they relate to real life conditions and phobias. Um, this approach allows me to tap into the psychological and emotional resonance of horror while also shedding light on the human experiences that underlie our deepest fears. And in the context of my zombie phobia, I'm drawing parallels between the fictional undead hordes and the very real feelings of isolation, abandonment, and loss of control that many people experience, or how it could relate to a global collapse for a various of reasons, and how that in itself is terrifying. So, this blend of horror and reality allows me to engage with complex emotions and themes in a way that's both thought provoking and entertaining. And hopefully, that will be well received by anyone who is gracious enough to watch and listen. See what we have here. That would be cool. Yeah, I think so. So that's the state of the channel. That's really all I have regarding that. You know, aside from all that stuff, is anyone excited that college football is back? Did anyone watch any of the games this weekend? There's only a few. It really is coming back Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's when we're really getting all our college football. And if so, who are you a fan of? Who's your college team? Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. Yeah, my teams are the West Virginia Mountaineers. That's who I love, and I also love James Madison University. Um, and I have personal ties to both, so I really do enjoy both of those college football teams. I don't really watch like the baseball or the basketball stuff or whatever else they have. It's mainly college football. Anyone have any questions before I wrap this up? Anything? I don't have too much to say. I'm very much looking forward to the Halloween season. Yeah, Chippy, I'm trying to do that, and I believe in order to successfully do that, um, I wanted to speak with people who I think are smarter than me on it. That's why I wanted to, speak to Fig Solves about it. We were supposed to do an episode on it. I reached out to him. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if I will hear anything. So, wow. So I'm assuming that, yeah, if it's the Monmouth and Bell game, this is an Indiana thing, Rebecca, or is it completely unrelated? Sounds like it's a FCS team versus an FBS team, but they do FCS teams and FBS teams. They do play each other. Yeah, I think for the most part, I do a pretty good job with it. I don't take them very seriously. I think what bothers me in this case is I do have a stalker who anyone I talk to, they reach out to, and it's pretty disturbing. So, and this person claims, or at least they claimed when I talked to True Crime is NY when we were on good terms, they were telling her that there's a group of them. There's a group of like how fucking. I mean, it's kind of flattering that there's a group of them that's got a burn after reading haters club like that. that part's actually kind of funny. I don't mind that. But when it gets sick is when you block these people and things like that. They find other ways to intrude upon your life, and it's pretty creepy. Um, they try to find other things about you. Of course, I have no criminal record. I have none of that stuff. So they got nothing on me as far as that goes. But they'll still try, like, oh, like my personal YouTube account. And this was like about a year ago, I believe, a year or two ago. Um, they were looking at my history of what I was watching, and I wasn't watching anything bad. I'm a fan of professional wrestling, and they're like, "Oh, he's watching professional wrestling," and they're posting that shit, and it's like, why? Like, what's your purpose other than just to let me know how disturbing you are? And that's why I won't say their name. Like, look, there's other people out there I will address, like if it's Anthony Greeno, Rick Snay, Bob Ruff, whoever the case may be, because they're known people already. I mean, these are people who are more known than I am, so I'm willing to discuss that. But this piece of shit or people, whichever they are, where they claim, I think it's one person and all these different accounts, and I think this person probably has multiple personalities. They, you know, they're chicken shits. They won't say who they are. So how can I take you seriously? Yeah, they are, and they come in all sorts of packages. No, no, they didn't contact my family, but like anyone I talk to associated on YouTube or what have you, and they want to work with me or they want to talk or what have you, or if I comment on their stuff, they're right there commenting right below me. Like it's like they follow me to follow me everywhere in what I do. And that's a little weird. Actually, it's a lot weird. It's not a little weird, it's a lot weird. And it's okay if you don't like what I have to say, or if you want to correct what I want to say, that's fine. But they take it to a whole new level. Like they're pretty twisted. So, I'm not going to give them a platform. They don't deserve a platform. And I'm using they, assuming that what this dork is saying is true, then it's a group of them. However, I have had my father contacted, not by them, but through a different person related to the Maura Murray case. That was creepy. And a lot of Anthony Greeno has threatened my mom, not directly to her, but to me. And so when you get into this kind of true crime space, like you have to have a thick skin and you have to, you know, get used to the strangeness. I know criminal profiler Pat Brown has said like she doesn't really like to cover the West Memphis 3 case that much because of like the obsessiveness of what people will try to do. I believe you'd have to watch the episode. So if I'm wrong, watch it and don't just take my word for it. But I think we're like what's going on, like wherever they would review her books, whether that would be like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or whatever, just completely one starring them and giving like really crazy bad reviews, things like that. Like that's some really like petty shit. It's some really petty stuff that you would have to go through all that. But all right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I think a half hour is a good mark. I want to, again, thank you for anyone that was listening, paying attention. And yeah, bootleg, I'll give you the initials of that individual. I think you can, you'll know who it is. It's JR. My first video, man, the first video I ever made, JR. But, all right, as I was saying, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Nice little live stream, all things considered. And I'll catch your ass down the road. Have a good one.